Hello, everybody. This is Brian Burse, and I'm online here trying to test out our virtual office hours and see if that's going to work. So the idea is that students would be able to come to this virtual meeting place, and we could talk about homework problems, upcoming test review. When we get working in projects, whether it's science fair projects or the Arduino projects, we can kind of go through some of those in detail. And so what I'm kind of trying to do here today is just show you how to set that up, and then I'm trying to just test my own equipment here and make sure that everything works. So I'm going to try to share my screen with you here so I can walk you through the steps on how to get there. So bear with me here. This is my first time going through this as well. Okay, so here's my desktop screen, and so you should open up. I guess I'm trying to tell you how to get here, although I've laughed because I guess if you're watching this, you've already found it. But for future reference, you would go to our Google Classroom page, whatever your classroom happens to be. So I'm looking at Honors Physics 2, but my plan is that all of my classes would have access to this. And I'll just post a link here. So if you click on the link here, Virtual Office Hours, you click there, you'll be able to see our stream. And the thing I want to point out to you here is that there's going to be an area here for a chat window. And that's important because that's going to be where we're going to be you're going to be able to communicate with me. So you can hear me, but I can't hear you. So you could type in your questions here in this window. Hello, how is everyone? And you'll be able to read that, and then I'll be able to get questions that way. So I've got my son, Brett, here today, and he's going to help us out by hopefully typing in a question, and we'll be able to see if we're able to get that. So we'll give that a second here. All right, so he says it's going slow, so I'll be curious to see if anybody else has a similar issue. When we try this, we're sharing the same internet connection here, so that might possibly be part of the problem. But I do think it's good, and I can read that. And if there was a question, how to do a particular homework question or something like that, I would be able to address that. And I think with the screen sharing thing, I'm thinking like with the Arduino projects, I would be able to maybe work on some code and type some stuff in, and you'd be able to see it. Okay, so one thing I guess I thought I would do here while I'm making a video is I've been getting quite a few questions about 3D printing and how to do that. And so the students that have been in my Honors Physics 2 class, we've been working with that all year, but I know that that's certainly not all the students that are interested in the printing. So I thought for the benefit of everybody else, I would run you through that process here real quick, and just to kind of show you how that works. So let me share my screen again here and just kind of walk you through that. Okay, so all right, so you're going to want to use, I've had the best luck using Google Chrome. So I'm going to use, I think I need to open up a new window here. So here's Google Chrome, and I want to show you a couple of things to do. Probably a good place to start is to use the website called Tinkercad. And so when you go to Tinkercad, it'll ask you to create an account if you don't already have one. It's free, so there's really no reason not to do that. And so with Tinkercad, what you can do is you can actually draw designs from scratch. So let me just show you how that works here real quick. I'm going to click on create a new design. And there are other ones too. This is just one that I think my students have found to be the easiest and kind of most intuitive. So you start out with this work plane, it's called, and you just start building up basic shapes. And let me just show you quickly kind of how to do that. So let's make a little house. So we've got a box here, and I can resize it to whatever size I want, like that. And then maybe, my house, maybe, I guess I'd like to have a pyramid top. So I want to take this pyramid and move it so that it's on my house And it takes a little bit of practice to get it just right. Because I'm just trying to show you the concept of it here. I'm not going to worry too much if it's not completely perfect. But that looks, well, I guess that's not quite right. I'm going to make this so that it kind of matches up. And again, if you were doing this for a real project, you'd take a lot more care here and try to get these perfectly lined up. Looks like I've got a little bit of a gap here in between. Okay, so that's reasonably good, I guess. And so the only problem with this house is it's solid right now, right? So I'm going to cut some holes in it here. And so you add, yeah, I'm going to add a door here. And maybe I'll make my door about that big right there. And then you'll notice that so far I haven't touched this, but up here it says hole. And so if I click on hole, it actually will cut that out and make it a hollow place. And so then I need another hole in it here that would be kind of the living space inside. And so, you know what, now that I think about it, I think maybe I'll make it bigger here first, like that, and then I'll slide it inside. And obviously I'm just doing this real quick. But I guess that's kind of the point, is to see that this is really easy to do. And then once you get your object completed, I'm going to select all these, and then I'm going to group them together. And now it just becomes one part. And now I'm ready for printing. So that's how you design parts from scratch. The other really cool thing we can do is we can modify parts that you can find online, or you could just find parts online. So let me show you how to do that. I'm going to open up a new tab here. And the other website that we have found really useful is called Thingiverse. So it's Thingiverse.com. And this is a whole library of 3D shapes. And this is maintained by MakerBot, which is the company that makes our printer. So most of these pieces are compatible with our printer. So you could, search, and maybe you'll find somebody has created something that you're interested in, or at least a part that maybe you could kind of start with. So I had a student last week that was interested in a phone case. And so I guess I should have maximized that a long time ago. So let's say we have an iPhone 5S. And so here are some cases here. Here's one. I like this one because it's just blank. And so the hard part of getting the exact dimensions of stuff has already been done for us here with this. Let me just download this. So I'm going to click on this, and then this is going to go into my downloads folder. And then I can then import this into Tinkercad. I mean, I could print it directly if I wanted to, but what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to show you how you could modify something like this. So back in Tinkercad here, there's an import feature, and I'm just going to try to find where I put that. Downloads, maybe. Okay, I'm not seeing it here, so what I'm going to do, and I apologize here to make everybody watch me fumbling around with my stuff here. Whoops, that's totally not what I wanted to do. Downloads, iPhone case. I'm just going to put this on the desktop, and maybe I'll be able to find it a little easier now. So we're going to go in Tinkercad, we're going to import. Oh, choose file. I was waiting for me to choose a file. So desktop, there's the one I just downloaded. Hit import, and it's uploading, and there it is. So that looks like, the right shape. And actually, I'm kind of questioning exactly what this is. If this is, it looks solid, as opposed to being like a shell. So this maybe is this isn't a case, this is the actual phone itself. Which I'm not sure really why you would need that. But anyway, since my point here was not to really design a case, it was just to show you how to do this. The idea here would be you could use a pre-made model to kind of get started, and then we can still use all of the shapes here to do to do some custom stuff here. So I've got these a bunch of different ones I was just clicking on here, and then here are the basic ones here. And so I could definitely, you know, use some of these shapes here. And again, I'm not sure why a person would need a little rounded thing on the back of their iPhone like that, but you can see how that could be done. Or I could use a cylinder to drill a hole through it, which is kind of cool for certain applications. Now, again, here I don't think it's really necessary, but hopefully you get the idea. So Tinkercad I found is really user-friendly. It's easy to pick it up and kind of see how it works. We'll make that a hole. So now it's drilled through. And if I were to print that, it would, you know, be a hollow point there. It's really easy to use. It is limited. You know, that there are some things that you can't do with it. But all things considered, I think it's a great place to start. And so as a student, if you're interested in 3D printing, those are the two places I would recommend you start. So again, it's Tinkercad, and then the other one was called Thingiverse. And I guess now, as I look back at it, I do see this doesn't say it's a case. This clearly says iPhone 5S. So this is a model of the actual phone that we were using. Okay, so that's I think that's a good test for us here for the first time through, and I'll be curious to see, you know, feedback of people saying that they, you know, it didn't work or it did work, and hopefully next time we'll get a few more students to participate. But I think that's good for now. Talk to you later.